The annual meeting will begin momentarily. We are currently in the stages of prepping for the annual meeting.
All right, good morning, everybody. Looks like we have most people in house. A few others might be trickling in here. I might be disturbing some from chattering this morning, but I will officially call to order our annual 2022 annual meeting here for Peace Lutheran Church. Sam, quick question, are you good to go on Zoom? or live stream, I'm sorry?
Live stream.
Okay.
Live stream is good.
Okay. So as you just heard, we are live streaming this today, so if anybody wants to come forward and address, or when we're speaking of the boards in each of our boards portions, I ask that you do come up, use the microphone here at center of aisle or up here up front at the podium, so those that are listening in live stream can hear in as well. As I walked up, I did see it looked like we had a quorum of at least 25. Pastor John, you want to double check and confirm my eyesight was right? Or Wes, we're good to go, okay. So we officially have our quorum of 25. Hopefully everybody's picked up the agenda that was at the table where you signed in this morning. So do I have a motion to accept the agenda as written? Or I should say, are there any additions, modifications, deletions, I should say first, sorry. Yes, Gloria, you were waving your hand. Okay, if there's no edits or changes to it, do we have a second? Okay, are there any additions, modifications, deletions, anything that anybody would like to add? All right, if not, all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, so be it. All right, so we'll move into the secretary's report. Okay, so Brenda made a motion as written and as reported. Do we have a second? Thank you. I heard Becky here. Thank you. All in favor? Opposed? Okay. So we'll move into our calls for election here at this point. Do we have, I'll need 4 volunteers to step up and volunteer to be tellers if needed. I don't think we've ever needed them, but I have 2, Gloria and Sharon, Tasha 3, and 4. Okay, so if we do need to roll into a roll call for anything, you'll be our tellers today. All right, so we have some nominees to fill here. At present, we do have a president position open, a Board of Education position, and 2 usher committee members. So I'll make my first call for additional nominees for those positions. Yes, please.
I nominate Peter Parizek for president.
Okay. And Peter, do you accept, sir? Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Nancy Rowe nominated Peter Parizek for president.
All right, I'll make my second call for
Peter
additional
accepted.
nominees. Don't everybody jump up at once now.
Gail Posey offered her name for Board of Ed.
Okay.
Gail Posey.
So Gail Posey for Board of Ed. And I'm relying on you that she is willing and able and accepting.
She said just for 8 o'clock service.
Okay, perfect. So that would leave at this point then 2 usher committee positions. I'll make my, oh, go ahead, Jim.
If Peter is accepting the president, he'll have to resign from the Board of Trustees, so we'll have an opening there.
True, good point, yes. He mentioned with Peter Parizek stepping up to volunteer as president, he was serving on the Board of Trustees, so we will need then to fill a Board of Trustees position should he be stepping down from it, which you would have to. So. All right, I'll make my, yes, Wes.
Peter stepping down, I would be willing to step in and put my name on for one of the Board of Trustees positions. But then that would open up a position on the Board of Deacons.
It's kind of like musical chairs going today. All right, so for those on live stream that didn't hear, Wes Arndt has volunteered to serve on the Board of Trustees, which would fill Peter's position that would become vacant, which in turn will create a vacant position on our Board of Deacons. This is getting quite interesting.
I would like to nominate Rachel
And Rachel, do you accept the nominee? Sure. Okay, thank you, Rachel.
Do you need another person?
We still need 2 volunteers for usher committee. Unless you'd like to.
Okay. I'm going to nominate Tasha Parizek for the usher committee.
All right, thank you. I assume you accept. I heard you nodding, okay, or saw you nodding. So that would leave at this point 1 usher committee position remaining. I'll make my third and final call for nominations. All right, so be it. So this would leave us with one usher committee position open yet. At this point, we'll move into a call for a unanimous, okay. All right, so I'll make a call then for a unanimous ballot for our nominees and all the positions here for 2023. Do I have a motion? Sharon Hochschild motion. A second? Got a couple here. Who wants it first? All right. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. Unanimous ballot has carried. Yes, thank you all for all the volunteers that stepped up here to fill the positions. Greatly, greatly appreciated. All right, so we'll move into our recap of reports. We'll start off with Pastor John. I don't know why I'm hanging on to this.
We'll need it later. Okay, well, again, I want to say thank you to Jimmy, who's stepping down as president of our church council, and then also those individuals that have fulfilled their obligations in terms of our board leadership. They are, if you look on page 4, these individuals, their positions where they would have expired, all of those being a gift to us. A board of deacons, the board of education, the board of trustees, the board of stewardship. There is the business side of work. And so with their partnership, their encouragement, we are able then to carry on. What I do want to do is just take a second and read through some of these individuals that might be here today and ask that they might rise and be counted or recognized. Not everybody knows everybody here. I'll tell you, it's the hardest thing. Would one of you be willing to go and ask someone, I don't know who they are? Well, by baptism, they're your brother or sister, so get off your keister, right? Narissa is our vice president. Brenda Kronk is our secretary. At least give a wave. You got a laptop in your lap. Christy Peavy, treasurer. She is not with us today. Her family had a gathering. On our board of trustees, just elected, we've got Chris Iverson. Yep, that's his stand. He's tall. Cole Tobin is back behind you here. And then Jeanette Dahl is filling a term. And then Wes Arndt, whom you've heard and you've seen up front here with helping with communion. Board of Deacons, Robert Rust and Rachel Hansen. Rachel, you might have remembered her in her library piece. Lori Mueller and Gail Posey in terms of our Board of Education. Neither of them are here today. Kathy Pankratz and Heather Sarir, Board of Stewardship. I know Kathy was here at first service. And then Tasha Prizik with our usher committee. Okay? So, did I point out Peter yet? No, but it's because we all figured we knew him. All right, Peter Prizik, who is taking over responsibilities as our church council president. So, again, thank you for offering your time and your talents for us. And as your pastor, it's been, I've got a report in here, and it really is calling us to be, united in our ministry. Be careful how you listen, because there will be a call that is given to each and every one of us in the various ways that we live out our faith and live out our life and our ministry here in Baldwin, as well as it extends out well into the rest of the world. Be careful how you listen is really imperative. We have to listen to each other. So I was serving communion to one of our elder members today, this last week, and her word to me was, I want you to bury me. Okay, I'm not going anywhere. Well, just don't. And I get it. I mean, people know who I am. I've been here. I've been woven into your families, and that's only because you've allowed me to. But at what point are we able to, raise up another voice? And so this transition committee right now is not about me exiting. It's about me remaining and us adding to what we're already doing. And I truly believe there's going to be more that we're going to do here at Peace Lutheran Church in programs, in ministries, in ways of interacting with individuals. So as I say that, that's not to say that what we've done so far has not been complete. I want to say very clearly to my staff, Amy Hutchins, who's not here today, she's taking care of her mom. She's done a great job working with our office. And with Pauline Wangen and the work that she's been doing with Family Ministries, helping us get a daycare program started here and helping us see that become greater than anything we ever thought it would be. Leanne Hewson, who's not able to be with us today either. I think she's celebrating her dad's 92nd birthday or something. Okay, that's pretty amazing. But so Leanne is trying to keep a connection between us and our youth as they get busy in their lives and keep our faith story active in their participation. So again, I want to say thank you to that. I thank you to our musicians, the people that guide us in our songs and our singing, who I throw a wrench at them and say, "Well, get back to the piano. We need another verse," or I don't know, figure it out. But they do, and that also includes Kim Thomason, one of our choir directors for our Logos program. These people, they're raising our children in the faith, right? By giving them the songs and the themes and helping them to interact with one another. So again, wonderful, wonderful resource. Rich Carlson, what a gift he is to our people. He is an incredible gift to us, and I got to tell you, if he doesn't know how to do something, he'll find a way to do it. And he's out here so many different times. We are thankful for the ongoing ministry and care that he has provided. I can't name all the people that are in our daycare because I don't know them all. And they keep adding and subtracting, but they're just, they're wonderful because when I walk through there, I'm a rock star. It's from the youngest to the eldest, Pastor John. And so if you ever want to learn how to be a rock star, just hang around the daycare for a while. They'll indoctrinate you very quickly. But again, you see, what is our daycare doing? Our daycare is providing, our childcare is providing a place for kids, primarily for families that don't have family here. I was talking to Rich Carlson, bus driver for the Baldwin School District, and he says that when school is 2 hours late, all the grandparents are getting kids. And it's the grandparents that are bringing the kids to school. But see, a lot of the people that are using our childcare are people that don't have grandparents locally. It's such a gift to have family close to where you are. And you can't always rely on friends. As a matter of fact, little bit of an announcement, Mr. President-to-be, or as president, on February 19th, I won't be here for worship. No, March 19th, I won't be here for worship because my daughter Abigail is going on a mission trip with the people with her church down there, and it's the week before Mara gives birth, and Mara and Ben don't have this community there to watch Yuri when they're in the hospital. So they initially went to Julie, knowing that I'd say yes. I did. And so I'm just letting you know I'm not going to be here. But that sense of relationship. When Julie and I came here, and Rachel and Peter was just a toddler, and we sent him off with one of our people here. We didn't have family that were able to do that. And so thank you for being that church for our family. And now I got to exit stage left because it's my turn. And I don't want to take that away from my family. But then on April 9th, which is Easter Sunday, Julie and I are going to catch a flight out to Idaho, and we'll introduce Julie to our new grandson. But that's part of that's showing the need here. We've grown our ministries and our missions so much that when someone is gone, somebody else rolls in, and they step up, and they take care. So for that, I give you thanks. And so I'm not asking for permission. I'm just going. But I am saying that for the people out there that are saying, well, I want you to be here to bury me, I got no timeline right now. But I do know that our obligations, responsibilities here, I'm doing my best to keep up, and it's going to look different when we take a look at how this all comes together, but it's still going to be us, right? It's going to be the same people in the same chairs looking at and blessing this ministry. So, with that, thank you for another year. Tell me when I'm mailing it in. Tell me when you think I'm just kind of collecting the paycheck, okay? Let me know that. But in the meantime, I'm going to stay active, I'm going to stay involved, and God is going to guide us. We will use God's roadmap as we walk through this wilderness time. Is that fair? Okay. Questions, thoughts, concerns? 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Thank you. Thank you. Standing up. Standing on the promise.
Standing applause even. Well, I'm not as good as Pastor John in winging it, so I'm going to kind of stick to my script a little bit. But as my term ends and I step down from serving as your congregation president over the last 2 years, I had a chance to kind of reflect on the great time I did have. I was able to meet so many people and gain a greater understanding of our operational side of our church. We have such an amazing makeup of members, each with their own faith journey we are partaking in. After 6 years of serving on the Board of Deacons and 2 as president, I'm ready to take a step back and enjoy where our leaders and boards take us next. From the executive standpoint, 2022 items tackled were reviewing and revising the Constitution and bylaws, which will hopefully be adopted at our annual meeting here in a moment. The Constitution and bylaws have not been updated in quite some time and were overdue. Narissa, thank you very, very much for leading us through that process. You did an amazing job. Our executive committee also formed a transition committee that will begin their work in laying out our roadmap of where we go as a congregation beyond Pastor John. As he said, he's not leaving now. There's going to be a blending period, right? But we do need to plan for that future. We understood that Pastor John will not be our pastor for another 30 years. Julie said he couldn't be. So therefore, we need to begin that preparation and just iron out our future as a congregation. I want to take a moment to thank Amy Hutchins, who behind the scenes really is the glue that holds a lot of our day-to-day operations together. Her hard work does not go unnoticed. She helps support all our boards and does a phenomenal job doing so. If she was here, I'd thank her personally, but she's going to have to get the written form. Pastor John, I'll definitely miss leading by your side as our congregation president. You've always been there to listen, brainstorm, and help lead. Thank you for the 30 years plus now of becoming and being our pastor. You are an incredible pastor and a friend to us all. I wish each and every one of you the best, and it's been an honor to serve as your president. All right, so we'll move into the Board of Deacons. Do we have a representative? Thanks, Wes.
All right, thanks, Jimmy. The report, I'll let you look at it and kind of submit it as written in the pages, but the highlight is moving communion to a normal point in our services and getting away from what we had to do to adapt to the COVID pandemic. So thank you all for your patience through that. Thank you all for signing up to help. That was a huge effort we took this year, getting people to sign up and getting the schedules. And I wanted to give a special thank you to Joy Ulrich for helping coordinate that scheduling each month. It takes a lot of work, so thank you, Joy. And also Sharon Hochschild for putting the names up on the board and helping coordinate as well. So thank you both for your hard work. I think it really helps to make things flow smoothly and get as many people involved. So thank you.
All right, next up we'll move into the Board of Ed, and Director of Sunday School is not here, so you'll kind of maybe tackle both. But if not, the Director of Sunday School I think has a portion written in here as well, right?
She does, yes.
Okay.
The Director of Sunday School couldn't be here today, so she asked me to take her place. She's got everything written in here as submitted. The highlights were our registration is up. This year we have 138 kids registered for Sunday School. We have our Sunday school teachers fully staffed for this year, but we're always looking for substitutes if anybody's interested. So we switched to a new curriculum this year, which seems to be going well. I think the teachers are enjoying it as well as the kids. A couple weeks ago, we held Sunday school class in here and invited parents to join us just so they could see what we do in a typical Sunday school class. So things are going well. That should be it for us. Thanks.
Thank you. Board of Stewardship.
You can see our report as written. Thank you.
All right. For those on live stream, report as written. Trustees. Gonna come front and center, or front and right.
First of all, I want to thank Derek Miller, 6 years on the Board of Trustees, Pam Edwards, 3 years, and Peter, we were only able to keep you 1 year. What the heck? But thank you for stepping up. And to the people who did step up to take the positions that were empty, Wes and Cole and Chris and Jeanette, thank you much. I know I twisted a couple arms, and I hope they're not broken. And I asked Chris how bad Wayne twisted his. He said it really wasn't too bad. But so, just like Pastor John said, if we all lend a hand, it's not so tough. The highlights for the year, you can see them. They're written down there. It appears we've been in the building since '09. Things are starting to need repair, i.e., and I think Barb is still here, her initiation to get a new carpet is going to be done this week. And we're continuing to repair things, and if you look over there, you'll see the hole in the ceiling over there. We are going to have some roof issues that we're going to have to look at and get taken care of this year. So we're going to need a couple of professionals to come in and show us what we need to do there. So that's going to be an expense that we have to look forward to. What that exactly is, we don't know yet, but we'll be happy to report that when it comes. So that's about it for the Board of Trustees, if there are any questions. Thank you.
Logos. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm representing our Logos program. I have the title of director, but I honestly feel like that doesn't mean a whole lot because there's so many people who pitch in, and I feel like do so much on a weekly basis that basically I just have to check a lot of boxes, and they've already done their job. In addition to what's written in the report, want to make sure that they're all recognized for the work that they do. Kim Thomason, Julie Hansen, Carla O'Connell, Amy Larson, Becky Shaleen, and Heidi Dumond, and the host of other parents that are volunteering every Wednesday to just make a great community for the kids. It's just a really awesome program to be a part of, and I'm very grateful that the church is willing to support it in all of its ways. A few things that I would bring up for this year that I know I've brought up in our regular board meetings, but are just things to be aware of. In addition to having the child care, that has moved us around in the building a little bit, and we are currently doing our recreation time in the fellowship hall, which has worked, but if you've ever been in a room with 25 first to seventh graders, it's not really always the big enough space, especially on cold winter days when they aren't getting out and burning that energy. So I think that's going to continue to be an initiative where we look for opportunities for space for the kids with the recreational activities time. We do get a lot of the kids from the child care that are still coming up, even though they are able to run daycare. But if they're old enough to participate in Logos, we've seen a lot of our students who have other family members recruit their friends to come to Logos, and they are still joining us. So I think it's still having an extremely positive impact without disrupting the business that needs to happen for childcare. So I think it's very positive all the way around. We do have we had a little bit of a decrease in the volume of students that are attending. We have a tremendous group of seventh graders that will be aging out soon. So I think we're really going to try to move to a push this year to increase our advertising for the program just to keep the numbers high. We only have one first grader participating in Logos, and I really would like to see that number increase and recruiting into the program young, because I believe once they come into the program that it's just a really positive environment, and we typically have our students stick. So I think it's just creating the awareness and allowing people to see that this is something that's worthwhile on their Wednesday night. So, and otherwise, we aren't doing much fundraising. We'll continue doing our brat stand at Nielsen's, which has raised adequate funds for what we need to support the program in addition to the tuition. So I think that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Youth on Fire. Now, I know Leanne's not here. Was there anyone speaking on behalf? Okay, so report as written for her portion. Director of Family Ministries, and potentially moving right into Peace Child Care.
Hello. The first thing I want to do is I want to just thank our church family. Last year, I don't even have a word for it, but it was crazy, to say the least. And really, our family would not be where we are right now without our church family. So I just want to say thank you. It's been so nice to have Eric at home with us and Christopher's home. So really just having our family home again. And again, just thank you from all of us. Really, the report, we did do a lot of activities last year. We're always looking to add different activities and getting ideas. This year, we're continuing a lot of these. And again, I'm always open to getting some new ideas for what we're doing. And just with everything at our house, I'm not able to do as many things as I would like to do, but I'm doing what I can. And I have a lot of people that are willing to help too. So thank you.
All right. Peace Child Care's piece is as written in there, so we'll move into His Arms Children Project for Kenya.
Takes me a while.
No rush.
I feel like I have my back, everybody down there. The report in here, like always, is lengthy, because if you know me, you know I'm lengthy in my words, and I'll let you read that later. But three things I'd like to point out to you. Peace Lutheran, I think it was 3 months ago at council, I appeared and asked for permission for the benevolence money that you give to His Arms, that we be given permission to utilize it, whatever was needed. And I felt that legally, Peace needed to decide that, not us. And so you did pass a motion at the council, and it was approved that we, His Arms, could use the money how it was needed. So, you are a sponsor of a little girl. She's in high school. Her sponsor she had before could no longer pay. The husband had lost his job, and so anyway, we never want to give up a child. So that was right when you all approved that we could do what we wanted with your money. Your girl, it has 2 more years. Her name's Rochelle. I would love to see her prayed for. She's a very intelligent little high school girl, and I'm just real proud of her. So thank you very much for sponsoring her. The next thing is, when this last trip when we went, Bridget went with me, and she was tremendous, and she just was such a blessing. We had a graduation. 21 of our kids graduated, and I tell you, I felt like I was grandma all over again to all of them. It was so emotional. It was so awesome seeing those kids. And Rachel will remember one boy, Samson, who actually we said he was probably on the autism spectrum. Well, Rachel, when she was there years ago, she sat with him by herself because he wasn't real verbal in a group. And she said he's a bright kid. And he was. He graduated. This gives me goosebumps. This kid that wouldn't talk, wouldn't smile for the first couple of years, sat next to Rachel, started to talk. This boy graduated. He spoke at our graduation, and a year ago when we were there, he addressed us. He said, I would like to say something before the end of our meeting. And he said, I would like to speak on behalf of my colleagues. He meant the other kids. I thought, oh, and so he spoke. This time he said, I would like to speak. And we said, yes, we'd love to hear you. He says, I've been here for a long time. He said, my number's 4. Anybody beat that? Anyway, he just is a charmer. He's going to go on to study political science. The kid is so bright, and I'm just the grandma with proud buttons bursting. So thank you for that. And the last thing I would like to say is that we'd love to have a bigger team go. Even the kids have said, why don't people come? One little girl last time said, we'll be real nice to them, we promise. It broke my heart. I said, well, there's a lot of things people have to consider. But we are taking a team this summer. We'd love to build another playground like Pastor did before. There's a young man in Michigan that's interested in going. I've sent him a picture of what ours look like. He said, yep, but he needs help. And so if you could pray about it and consider it. We also are going to, we were donated 4 great computers that we took over this last time. It's amazing. The kids are picking it up so quickly, and so we'd like to work with them more on computer tasks and learning about that. And then we'd like to do more one-on-one with our kids. We have several. In fact, they just told me this last time when I was there, the school wants to kick this one little boy out. He's a twin. He's in our program. He was the one that was starving with his family last time when I was there. And the school says, nope, he's disabled. He needs to go to disabled school. We don't want him. That breaks my heart. That little boy, the first time I saw him, and his mother was the one that was on the pile of the dump that we, thank the Lord, got to just in time as she was dying. Her heart was dying as I listened to it. Anyway, the good Lord guided us, and he and his twin are in school. I thought, Rachel's visited that school. That has a lot of issues. That little boy, when we first brought him to our logos, which that's what we call our program, we were going to color. He had never had a color in his hand, and he watched us, and he just studied how we put our finger around that crayon, how we held the pencil. I thought, he just needs help. He just needs help. So that's one of the things we hope that we can have some other teachers go this time to privately work with some of our kids, maybe even set up a little program that our workers can help these kids that need extra help. So thank you for what you continue to do for our ministry in Kenya. And please let me know after you've prayed if you can join our team. Thank you.
All right, next up we'll have Barb here with the silent auction. I can bring the remote or the microphone.
Well, you know, when it's silent auction, I have to speak. I haven't lost my voice, I've just lost a lot of other things. But anyway, thank you again. This 26th auction was fabulous because of you. It was again a good moneymaker with over 17,000, and they tell me that people gave more money after it, so we had money for the carpet squares, and it's going to happen. And it's all because of you people that always are so generous. Thank you. And then the workers are fabulous too, of course. Then I want to tell you about the visitation ministry. Our visitation ministry also has been running for 26 years. Very few churches have anything like it. We need to keep it going. we have wonderful people that do what they can. Now, we've had to change it because of COVID. So sometimes these workers do calls, sometimes they do visits, sometimes they send them a card or a postcard or a letter, but whatever, it shows these people that they are still important to our church. And it's been happening for 26 years. Now, I really like to have you look a lot of my reading skills and my hearing skills and lots of things have gone down the drain. But I did write down the people that we still had on last year. Barbara Anderson, Sue Gillis, Ann Finley, Judy Jensen, Cleo Kitchener, Ole and Nola Monacan, Fred Owens and Krista Hansen, Cindy Ramberg, Shirley Rhodey, and myself. And we've done it for 26 years. Every year it changes. We have different people to visit, and every year we have to change and usually include somebody else because somebody can't do it this year. So thank you to all those people that have not given up, even with COVID, and we're going to do it again another year, so it's good. Peace Lutheran is known for doing it. Let's stick with it. And I didn't forget anybody. Oh, no, I think I got everybody on there. My reading isn't so good even on my own writing. I have to write big because these eyes don't work very well anymore. But thank you for keeping that going also. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Guatemala Mission Report.
Well, my report is pretty complete as it was written in the, oh, thank you. Okay. Anyway, it's pretty complete as it was written, but I want to add that I just got back from Guatemala Thursday night. I'm not happy with the weather, but everything went well in Guatemala. Craig and I were down there for a month. We were overseeing what was taking place with the scholarships and the projects that we had started before we left. We now have 19 youth that we're sponsoring to go on to school past 6th grade, which is a big number, big increase this year. Of course, there's a lot more in need, but you know, we're working on it. We did pick up doing some students at a different school. I was very impressed with that school and the leader and the children that were there. I finished seeing the project at the school where we spent $10,000 on landscaping, keep the water out of the building. And we're looking at some new projects there. Unfortunately, we are moving on beyond Momostenango. Unfortunately, last year when I was there in January, there was greed and jealousy going on. And I told them the crap had to stop, and it did not. So I regret that we're moving on because I truly love these people. They'll always be in my heart, and I will always go back and help the schools that we worked with. They do not know I'm not coming back, but I felt I didn't need that drama while I was there. Anyway, moving on, we're going to a new place that's outside of Antigua, which is a lovely place, but where we're going is not so lovely. They don't have bathrooms for most of the people. You would find a hole in the ground with a curtain around it, and God knows I can't do that. So that was my first request of them, that they would build bathrooms before we returned. It has to be decent for us to do business there. Anyway, so the bathrooms actually should be done now. I saw them almost done on Monday of last week. So our new project is that we're going to work with this village as long as we can, as long as we're getting help with that. But we cannot do this without all of you. I'm extremely grateful for everybody that donates in any way, shape, or form. I appreciate the backing. I appreciate the fact that we're on the, not the agenda, budget, because I couldn't do it without you. But God bless each and every one of you, and I pray that someday you'll have an opportunity to do something like this because it is very, very humbling. Thank you.
woman apiece.
Well, I think most of everything that's on the agenda is written. We do sponsor a boy from Africa. And I don't know if he graduated this year or not. Oh, okay. But I was going to tell you that Joanne Melander is going to be the president and I'm going to be vice president. So if you can't get a hold of her, you can call me and I'll try to help you out. So other than that, anybody who would like to come, we are this coming Thursday at 9 o'clock. We have our meeting. So we'd love to have you. And if the guys want to come on ahead. We'll accept you. So, talk to you. I guess that's about all I got to say.
All right, are there any other reports that we may have missed? All right, if not, we'll move into our treasurer's report.
Before I get into that, I went back to my seat after the trustees report and thought, Wayne, and I'm sure you're watching, he filled in 1 year for Monica when she had, so thank you, Wayne. Christy not here, so a recap for last year. It's right in front of you, and you can look, if you look at the budget for last year and the actual, we should all be thanking ourselves and thanking God, because what a wonderful year we had, and we got a lot of stuff done, but we ended up in the black. What a wonderful place to be. Anybody got any questions on 2022, other than what you see in there? When the meeting is over, I'd like to give Rich a couple of minutes. He's going to be looking for some help from us to move some of the heavier articles off of the carpet out before they come in on Thursday and Friday to take the old carpet out and put the new in. So are we moving right to 2023?
Just got to make a motion to accept your official treasurer's. All right, motion to accept the treasurer's report. Thanks, Peter. A second? Okay, Julie, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, so we'll move into our approval of budget at this point in time. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to, again, get the pamphlet at the back and kind of look through it maybe briefly while we were sitting in the pews here today. I think we move into a motion in a second first, and then we open it up for discussion. So do we have a motion to accept the budget as written? Thank you, Shirley. A second? Sharon, thank you. All right, we'll open it up for discussion. And were you going to cover it, or I don't remember?
Not unless there's any specific questions, I'll try to answer them. There's a narrative budget that kind of goes through it, written out, unless you want to talk about individual accounts. I guess if I look at the individual accounts, there were a couple that stuck out. Child care up, expenses, but child care revenue also. Ministerial staffing, we added a $50,000 line item budget for either a helper, a partial replacement. Don't know exactly what that looks like, but we wanted to put a number in there to get us down that path so everybody understands that there's a cost associated with getting either a part-time pastor or some help for John down the road. To know that I don't think we, going forward, can expect to find the guy or gal that's going to do it, the work of two people with one. So we all need to know that.
Questions, comments?
So we have a little bit more in the passing interest in what goes on here, of course. First of all, it's gratifying to see that there's younger people that are picking up the baton and marching forward, if you will, with our congregation. It's really gratifying to see. Back when John was brought on board and his family, I was the president back then. I think some of you know that. And to see what's going on today as far as the transition is quite gratifying. It looks to me like there's going to be a nice group of people that are here that are going to go ahead and forge a path so we have a very seamless and an effortless transition. It'll help everybody, I can assure you. Based on those comments, I think it is prudent and reasonable that there's a line item there for some type of an assistant or somebody that will be able to transition into Pastor John's position as it is today. So I think it's well-reasoned and it makes sense. And that'll help hold the congregation together along with everybody that's here. So thank you very much for your time.
So I just want to thank everybody for their financial support the last year and look forward to it in the coming years.
Thank you. All right, all in favor then of the budget as written? Anyone opposed? So be it, carried. All right, results of the election we already know. Things were unanimous, so again, thank you to everybody that stepped up for the open positions and the shuffling and musical chairs of our positions that opened up. It was great to see. I don't think we have any unfinished business to tend to, so we'll roll right then into our new business item here, which is our Constitution and bylaws. And Narissa will kind of go over the changes, edits, and whatnot.
I'll try to go through them quickly only because I have some slides on them and they were printed in the back, small font, but that's why I made these slides for you also. So as it has been mentioned before, the Constitution and bylaws has not been reviewed for several years. So our Constitution is composed of several pieces, like you would expect, the preamble, confession of faith, statement of purpose, etc. Towards the end, it does have the bylaws. And if you go to the next one. Sorry, this one is really small too. That's okay. The bylaws, it has a couple changes. So the different pieces to the bylaws start with, for example, communion participation, membership, and then it goes into the officers and boards. The changes on the officers and boards section that we review and want to make these changes to would be adding in the youth director position to the executive committee, and the description of that, do you want me to read it as it's very small? So the youth director has oversight of the youth programs and performs other such duties as this congregation or its church council may decide. The director works closely with the pastor. The youth director position is filled by a hiring process. The position is consistent until this congregation terminates the position or finds the job performance unacceptable. So that's the first change to the executive committee. After that, to go along with the executive committee, we've got the church council made up of the board of deacons, everybody who gave their reports today. The board of trustees is one of them also, and there are some edits there. Within the board of trustees, the edits would be removing text regarding a finance review committee, and instead replacing that with the board of trustees themselves conducting their own monthly review of financial records. And they will then present this report at the annual meeting in writing, like they did. And the other item that the Board of Trustees would like to edit is regarding material properties. And it is removing text regarding groups using the building that must be nonprofit. Usage of the buildings, of course, will still require approval. Another section that we are adding to the officers and boards would be the family ministries. And the description is that there may be a family ministries organization whose purpose is to encourage fellowship of young and old through a variety of different activities and events. The family ministries consists of volunteers who feel called to the family ministries program. One member of the family ministries organization is to represent family ministries on the church council and will be a voting member. If that representative is a member of this congregation, the representative will provide a report to the church council regarding family ministries activities. The family ministries organization will maintain their own organization and will direct their funds through the church annual budget. We're also adding in a section regarding peace child care, which is very similar to family ministries, so I won't read all of that. And then we would like to also remove the part regarding a nominating committee. Originally, it was composed of 5 members, but we've got our nominations presented by our congregation, so we felt that that would be okay to remove that section. So in order to actually amend our constitution bylaws, we do need all this to be voted into place. So I think that I need you back to ask for everybody to say that it is okay to ask for that majority vote. Any questions about anything?
Thank you, Narissa. All right, so do we have a motion then to accept the new constitution and bylaw edits that Narissa just proposed, and hopefully you all have had a chance to go over. Joy, start with you. Okay, a second. Gloria, thank you. Last chance, any comments, questions, concerns? So be it. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, it has been carried, so we will make these updates and edits formally. All right, that leads us into our adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Thank you. A second. Jim? Oh, Rich. Coming forward front and center before adjournment. Sure.
As you all know, thanks to the silent auction and other donations, we're getting new carpeting put in this week. There are some bigger items that John and I could muscle, but we figured we would ask for a little help. Yeah. Primarily, we want to get the items back in the narthex on this side, moved from there, probably line up somewhere nicely inside the sanctuary here. And then the other old church products, items that are down by the office area, probably would like to get them moved into the lounge kind of nicely. We still have activities going on here this week, so we kind of knock the stuff off this side, but yet still make the place usable. So tables and chairs we're not worried about because, again, logos will need them and other activities. We'll have the confirmation kids on Wednesday night take care of that. Yep. So it's just the bigger, heavier stuff that need to be picked up and moved. So thank you for your help.
Thanks. You, Rich. Awesome.
Did you want to say any last?
We're going to close.
Any last words? Yep. We'll close with the Lord's Prayer.
Again, thank you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Great day.
Thank you. All right, do we have a motion to adjourn? I think we already had a first and second, but we can do it again if we want to. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, we'll close with the Lord's Prayer.
Please rise. Our
Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Go in peace.
Thank you.
Morning.
Now you can go.
Thank you for watching our annual meeting. At this time, a copy of our annual report can be requested by emailing office@welcometopeace.org. That is office@welcometopeace.org. Thank you for watching and have a good day.